My content is for 13 and up or adult collectors of the product. Hello! Alright, it's the start of the wind testings. So this is for competitive players, okay, right? Not made for kids YouTube, so stop it. Competitive players, seeing how viable is this release and testing it. So we have Wind Dragon with the 9 armor over Bearing Dash against the Vanish comp. We already know. And we gotta test the 2 modes. So there is different modes to wind. I don't know how much it should affect it. We're in, I don't know, this should be upper, I think. So we're gonna see equalization. Does it fail? Does it do, I mean, for equalization, which is like pretty much what I'm already expecting it to do well in, it should just be fine. Or maybe it scrapes. Maybe the thing is too thick. I don't know. Remember, Gatling was pretty good. Yeah, uppers where the red's exposed. I'm actually curious. Maybe same spin makes a difference. I don't know if up or even if it makes a difference at all. Maybe neither mode really make that much of a difference in performance. I probably should just really light launch it because I do realize that, you know, with how these are. Oh, last second. Is it OS? If this becomes like a lot of draws, then I'm gonna go loco. I'm just curious, man, like, how's the performance and whatever. I don't know if much should be holding it back, to be honest. Like, there's also the other stuff like the tip and whatever we got to throw in, but I feel like what's most likely going to happen is it's going to be the same thing we always deal with, where it's a teensy bit more, and then after we have to just like move on, because I don't want it to be like if it's 50 draws, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not here for that. So here, as we can see, it's still going. Anything? Is it Vanish? Holy Mother of God. The outspin on that's a little nutty. I'm going to try full force after we're going to switch the thing. I mean, even with the dynamite, because after there's same spin and then after there's like bounce or whatever, we got to see. That was by like a lot. But is it going to be one of those things where it's like, it can, but it's like the burst RNG. I mean, opposite spin, if it's doing stuff like that, it's already pretty much hard cleared for me. Like, I don't need to see anything more than just that. Unless it's clapped. No. It's pretty good. Alrighty, so far, what's it called again? In upper force mode. It's supposed to be good for stamina from what the official thing is. We're gonna try now down force. So upper force is supposed to be supposedly more stamina, and down force is more mobility. It would be more aggressive movement. So would upper force, I guess, be the better mode? Because then upper would make more sense, because if it's supposed to be the goal of stamina, then I guess. But in the case of this, I'm pretty sure it'll still win, so I don't think it'll matter too much. And I should always mention, there's always going to be so many factors, like someone's bearing copy, etc., etc. So even if it's absolutely murking Vanish right now, I think, you know, we got to keep an open mind with this stuff. Okay, if it hard to us the thing again, then we're going straight in the same spin. Same, then op. I want to clear through this. Honestly, like, if win's good, I'll be really happy. If it's, I hope it's not, it's like another opposite spin thing to use for events. Because we already have so many that are just opposite spin. I just want, like, another good same spin. It is absolutely... Ooh. I was gonna say, it was absolutely looking like it might be dominating. Maybe there really is a difference in this. I mean, yeah, I get fair play. You get fair play, TT. Fair play. Or, was that a fluke of a round? Sometimes it happens. I should say that too, like, anyone who goes to events, like, sometimes you'll have, like, this super good setup, whatever, and you're thinking in your head, man, nothing can stop me, and then, boom, you just somehow get clapped at the end. So what is it supposed to be again? Downforce. I don't know. But it's really not. Yeah, either, okay. The interesting same spin testing, all right? This is where it's, I don't know why I took that apart. This is where this is at, because now we get to see same spin, good or bad. I hope good, man, because it's, if it's not, I'm gonna be so sad. So 3-3 is what I'll try to do. It's another one that's gonna be clapped. Why can't they just release one more good same spin? What's stopping them, man? Or am I wrong? No, you can see the stamina is like deleted. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Oh, but that might just be like a good round. That may just be like... Okay, what I want to see is if you tip launch it. Okay, so this was just like a test just to see, but you do gotta straight shoot it because I know it's a strategy that some do, and I do this too, when you kind of tip the bearing so it doesn't just go around wasting. I think for wind, you shouldn't be tipping it because otherwise you do scrape a lot more and that's not going to be to your benefit. So for this one, it was obvious that wind would lose to that in that kind of setting, but otherwise... Second round, that's like the main one that we're counting. And I still do think, you know, if someone gets a strong shoot, whatever, maybe you get clapped a lot, or maybe you don't. Maybe that was just, I think it could also just be just a really lucky round. If it was, I'm gonna get so upset. And if it's not, fair enough. If it wins, I probably can guess why. If. Other than maybe like bearing copy. I think it has really high stamina, but it's getting clapped underneath. It's getting clapped underneath. Also, someone could just have a bearing that's even better than this one and maybe beat it, right? So that's like always the factors. These are 2 stars? Yes. Okay. One more. Same spin looking nice. So far. It's got a few more big hits on the thing, so... Maybe not, you know? Maybe it's not that crazy. Maybe attack should still kill it. That's what I'm thinking. Because if it has like a scraping issue, what's stopping like an attack type from just hitting it and then after it hits the stadium floor and dies? That is insane. That is insane. That is insane. And it even can't be with the bearings, because I checked my bearings, so... Yeah, okay, yeah, let's say hypothetically for whatever reason, or let's just say for argument's sake, it is maybe the bearing. Either way, then that's got still a pretty good chance. So I'm like pretty content right now. This is, considering I basically had the lowest bar possible, which was just like opposite spin, the fact that it's doing this well is pretty nice. Also, I just picked 9 just because I thought 3. So you don't, I would say 9 makes sense maybe to use for this. Let's see if it does better or worse now. This is upper force. Same looking good, opposite looking good. Now this one we have to see. Maybe, I think, because you know what's weird, right? Am I wrong, but it looks like it has significantly less, or is it just the stamina on the thing is just really high? So like, I don't know. So is this actually, so this is like the second one that's actually now good same spin, which is pretty, this is basically what I wanted Prominence to be in terms of stamina. So it can do fine, I would say. I would probably lead towards, if your opponent can get a good enough hit and you start to scrape, that could definitely be a downside to wind. That is a weakness. We still haven't tried it against attack. Is it good or bad against attack? So there are still things to go over, but yeah. Because basically just sitting on top of it, that's why it's winning. This is getting like a hard thumbs up from me. It's stable. What else? It's really doing it. Wow, so fair enough to TT for wind. I feel like there's probably gonna be some big weakness that I'm not thinking about right now for it, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. So right now I'm liking it. Yeah, but you can see what I mean with the scraping. That is definitely a weakness. So if it loses now, it makes sense. Okay, barely, but like if someone had like maybe like a slightly better bearing or something, like you could see how that could be your down. So far, final thoughts, same and opposite spin stamina. Good. I think it's good. I think this is definitely at the top. Well, okay, I mean, considering that I did that against Vanish and I did that against DNF, I think technically speaking it should be, it's either S or it's got to be A or something, right? But it's very, very usable. Very, very usable, I would say. The weakness is potentially scraping, which I could see to potentially being used to counter against it, but otherwise solid. All right, so we basically have to do the attack testings now. So this is where we're gonna see, does it lose really easily or does it not? I mean, I think it should be fine. I think, when I say this, think. I don't really know exactly if it tanks or it doesn't tank. I also technically have to also use the regular core. For now, we're gonna just try Dragon and we're gonna try the Xiphoid. So we're gonna see. I assume this should be easy. Thing. This is kind of just like medium-ish launch right now. So just not to waste the driver. So you can pretty much see in terms of KO, right, resistance. I mean, to be fair, this is like bearing, right? Bearing, it's not gonna be too hard to KO, but this is just against like Warnfoy just to show. You can see, those are like basically wall saves, but yeah, otherwise, in terms of that, I would say that, yeah, it's what it is. Now we have to see with Nightcore, how does it do? And see whether or not it can tank or it cannot. So, again, we're gonna see with Nightcore. I did lose about, I think, 2 clicks. we're about to see. And then after I want to try with the moon disc just to see if there is that resistance there that it needs. Because supposedly it's supposed to take in the impact or whatever, right? But so about 1 click, I would say. Let me put this the other way. So it is kind of taking those hits. I don't know if it's doing better than Dragon for resistance in terms of taking the impact. I would have to say, I guess by default it would have to be worse than Dragon, because obviously if you're losing clicks in Dragon, you don't really lose those clicks. That maybe it's an issue, but I could be wrong here. No clicks lost there. These are like these hits that matter. And obviously this was like Mint Xiphoid. Even better, right? But just to see. So I think the Nightcore works fine enough. Yeah, I can definitely see, I guess, how it's supposed to work for kind of like taking in the attack hits. I don't think it makes that much of a difference for Dragon versus like Bound, for how this does, which is kind of like the movement of up and down. Honestly, I can kind of see it. Squares or something? Maybe that's why. That's my guess. Now, even though it did, I would say, all right against Xiphoid, we're going to see if it can take Guilty or not, and if it can't, you know, whatever. Because Guilty is Guilty is like the best, I would say. It's the most safest option for attack. Fortress, like I always like to use for my Guilty combos. Guilty, I always recommend you use Fortress. Fortress just pairs up very nicely with Guilty to give that extra smack that you're looking for. Let's see, does it take Guilty? Okay, that's a kill. And I got to the middle for clicks. Did lose a bunch of clicks on there. No, I'm just kidding. That was another test. Unless I KO it, then it wasn't a test. I'm starting to believe the core gimmick the more that I'm using this now, and I don't like that. No, yeah, Guilty's done. When it does that, it basically gets some, what do you call it? It's like a stagger effect when it kind of gets like, kind of like frozen there. So, what if I try to weak launch this? Never mind. I don't know why I thought that would work. What if I try to normal launch this? That might have been a snipe, but I couldn't tell. If I try this. I think actually, I'm kind of like a Nightcore. That's not true, not easily, because there are some times when the gimmick, I guess, can kind of work, and what I'm thinking is when it's hitting it, maybe it's like doing like this thing, but yeah, against attack, I think it's solid enough, I would say. All right, now while I'm doing this in between, I just wanted to mention this was not easy to do, because we have to do basically the bounce driver. I don't like it. But if it does good, you know, we can't just hate on it to hate on it. If it does good, credit where credit's due. I'm so confident the driver is bad that if it's not, like, I'm actually gonna go insane. I'm truly gonna go insane. Yeah, I was right. Yeah, I was right. It's clapped. It's clapped. Yeah, of course I was right that it was clapped. Here I am thinking, man, I honestly, for a split second, For a split second in my head, I thought, man, maybe I was too harsh. Yeah, of course the driver's not good. The reason why is legit just the height. Too small. Also, the bottom being a tiny sharp is not a good thing. It should have been wider, kind of like the shape of yielding or something. So I guess more closer to nothing, because it's not. All right, wow, this is actually the shortest one for the video. But maybe it's high XM plus dash, right? Maybe it does that. Oh yeah, because I have to do opposite spin. Actually, if it beats high XM plus dash, that is kind of fair play, I would say. I have a feeling that maybe the stamina is kind of good, but because it scrapes a lot, it doesn't have any use here. Yeah, this is... Never had to go so fast to the vanish. Do we even think that it's gonna do anything? Honestly, I don't think it's gonna do anything at all. I think it's just gonna lose. But you know, here's to being wrong, right? I mean, actually, there's a no, because if it's too short, I don't even think opposite spin would make any sense. Oh, so this is just clap for real. If it loses, I didn't even launch. I even hand spun it. Like I don't care about it. Yeah, don't use bounce. Don't use bounce in standard is what I'll say. This is like the unwanted sequel to Just. This is what it is. It's literally like the unwanted sequel to Just. Here's what I'll say. Just don't use it. Bounce it back to your collection. I'm getting high XM plus dash. Yeah, bounce was terrible, but I don't even know where I'd rank it. I just know it'd be very low just because of the issue. I don't even think as a concept it made much sense, because why would you have such a tiny and it's even worse for the DB Stadium for how it dies, but they should have just basically made it like maybe like a taller, or actually, you know what? It could have just been a wider absorb is what they should have done, to be honest. I think honestly, like there's that green absorb that I might just slap on the Knight, which I think would probably do infinitely better than, or a bit better than that. Maybe this is a good opposite spin, like, maybe it's just bad. Okay, we're done. Alrighty, next up is Moon versus Over. I'm hoping Moon is good. This color combo looks cool. If anyone says otherwise, I'm gonna... Also, I need a red Dragon Core or something. Actually, you wanna know what? Red Belial 2 is gonna be very drippy. Oh, I don't know why I'm talking about this. I'm sorry. The one thing I'm wondering is if it's clapped or not. I'm hopefully not. And it's like a bearing thing, so like, whatever happens, happens. I'll do 3 rounds, I'll swap whatever, and we'll see. I have a feeling it shouldn't, because if one's 33 grams and the other's like 31 pushing, I don't think that one would be better. But I could be wrong, because I remember that even though Illegal is lighter than Over, it's just as good as Over, so... If we have another disc that's just as good as Over, I will take that, because I need that in my life. Or is it Leclapped? Leclapped? 1-0. If I get hard OS'd again, we're gonna swap the bearings. If it's still clapped again, we're gonna swap the order. If it's still clapped again, then I don't know. I'll be very sad. That's what I'll be. Surely if I get a strong enough shoot. Right? Maybe it's not balance tuned, is it? It's pretty stable. I can do it the other way, but I don't think it's gonna make a difference. If when I swap the order, it goes the other way around, I could also swap the bearings, but if it's losing, I'm gonna be kind of sad because I kind of had big hopes for this disc, but yeah. Actually, you know what I thought is maybe I don't know actually. I thought maybe they could maybe have made it a little bit wider. If it doesn't do well, maybe it could have been a little bit wider or something, or maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Let's swap the order and let's see. If this is just like an order thing for launch, then I'm okay with that. If it loses again and we swap the bearings, then yeah, I don't think this has use for stamina. I mean, to be honest, you only really ever use like over, illegal, or giga now, so... Maybe if it's useful for attack or something, I'd be okay with that. Is this going to be a launch order thing? It is not. Is this potentially a bearing thing? Let's figure it out. That means now I have to see if it's as good as Giga after this, if it's losing. I mean, the bearings should be just super close to each other, so... If it's not, that is worrying. I'll have to try it against whatever I have, really. I don't think I have a 4-star Giga, actually. Come on, just be like a part thing. Don't be like you're bad. No! No! It's not a part thing. It's just not as good as over. Wait! No! Really? Damn, bro. I was kind of hoping it was like, maybe it was just like, I knew it probably wasn't the bearings, but I just thought, I don't know, maybe. So maybe it just has use for attack. I'd at least be okay with that. Like, that would be like, fine, I guess. Because otherwise, it's kind of clapped. I did have the worries about this, but... Come on, just like barely win or something, so I can pretend and I can cope and I can say that it's good. No, it's by a lot, too. Is it better than Giga? Come on. If this doesn't work, you know, there's always stamina. No, wait, that's what we're doing. Oh, there's always attack. I don't know, maybe it's better than the Giga I have? It's 4-star versus 3 stars, so... Wait. I think I actually do have a 3-star moon, don't I? Well, let's see if it matters or not. Oi. Oi. Yo. Hey, yo, don't tell me. Yeah, please. Don't tell me that it doesn't even beat Giga, bro. Come on. And, you know, at least Giga, I would be, like, kind of accepting. That's lame. Ugh. It's just claps, bro. It's not even the bearings. It's not even the bearings. I already swapped it. Wait. Okay. Now we're talking. Okay, wait. Either way, hold on. Let me... Okay, wait. This is actually 3 stars. Oh. I'm gonna do this one. This one is 3 stars, actually. This should be a lot more even now. So 3 versus 3. So now this is more even. It's gonna just, I guess, be stamina. Oh, if it wins, then it'll probably just be like Giga Tier. If it wins, that is. I mean, that's like, okay. Well, technically, I don't know if I can say Giga Tier, because Giga is also good for attack, so... Maybe I would say Giga Tier if you're specifically talking about stamina, I guess. Not even, bro. Ah, forget it. But maybe it's good for attack, because basically that's what Fortress got relegated to. I forget. Okay, now let's try it with over on it. Okay, that round, nothing. That could have just been the launch or whatever. You... I'm trying to see just like normal whatever. Just seeing how it does. Okay, now we're gonna like up the launch just to see if it does that push that I need or no. Yep. I think it was just the launch there. This should be fine for attack. Yeah, actually, maybe not that bad. I'm liking the hits that were... Middle clicks. Yeah, just the launch on this, but I think we can actually get it. Next one. It's really tight. Holy crud. As oh, I know why not. Was it scraping? Because if it was, that's not good. Oh no, it's not gonna have any use. Maybe kind of savior? Is it gonna be like another? Is this gonna be like maybe it's like another guilty disc? That's probably what it's looking like. I'm gonna just see like a straight shoot like. Okay, I can do that. But maybe it's just how I'm launching it. That's what I'm trying to think. Maybe I'm being too harsh, and maybe it's just how I launch it, because it looks like I can probably do it for guilty. Probably. I think it's possible to KO with it, but I'm not. That was nice. That was nice. Alright, it's done. I don't know. Not that special. Alright, last one. Stamina test. Is the Night Core good? Is it not good? Who knows? Well, I'm gonna be honest. If I'm only just doing Dragon 2 probably. If it beats Dragon 2, then cool. If it doesn't beat Dragon 2, then cool. The thing is, like, you're trying to basically just find out what's the best same spin. Like, I don't even think that Nightcore really needs to be as good as Dragon. If it is, like, awesome, but it's not like it's that much of a priority for me. Dragon Core. Let's try again. Very close. I don't know. I mean, I like the stamina to be good. If the stamina is good, then really it's like a really solid release. I mean, yeah, okay, whatever. The driver's not that good. The disc is not that good. But I consider the core and the blade pretty much a win, since I don't expect every single release, like every single part in that thing to somehow be like super good or whatever. So, you know, I'll take whatever I can get. Dragon? No. And also, the good thing is actually, if this core is also good for stamina, that means that if you, for some reason, if you like to use maybe Prominence or maybe Dynamite F, you could have an option for 2 cores, I guess. I don't know, if it's good, then you have the use there. Dragon. I have a feeling this will probably be... Ooh, the clicks. I think just the resistance on the core for Knight is my only actual worry. I mean, if you're doing a combo like, even if, let's say, for whatever reason, Knight is just better than Dragon, I don't know if I would use Knight, because if you go up against right spin attack on something like that, not on wind, then I do think you will very, very easily get bursted. Honestly, these seem like very neck and neck to me. I have a feeling that maybe Dragon Core is like slightly better. Otherwise, I think Knight looks okay. After we got to reverse the launch order just to be sure. If Knight wins, then cool. If it doesn't, then cool. There's also like so many other factors. I always say there's so many other factors, so I think for what it is, it seems to be doing okay. Seems, I say. I feel like Dragon Core just has that slight edge. Let's try to... So with Dragon launched first, now I want to see is what exactly is the difference? Does Knight win more, or does if Knight, let's say Knight does well there? Okay, not counting it around like that because it's just bearing tilt. If Knight does well for this stuff, then I think it's gonna solidify Knight as a solid stamina, or at least like usable, right? Like whether it's a deck of 3 or 5, I definitely think Knight Core is at least like something you'd probably want to have in it. Maybe not, or it would be an alright enough option, I think is more appropriate to say. Maybe more for 5 than really for 3. Knight. Try again. Also, at this point, I would swap the bearings, but I feel like if they're this even, then I just say, what I call it. When you get results like this, I prefer to call it like a 50-50. Like, not literally, obviously, like, probably it's like a more specific percentage, but it could go probably either to Knight or to Dragon, to be honest, because I see Dragon doing it, I see Knight doing it. I think it's comparable, so we can like put it up on the tier of maybe the other good right stamina stuff, I guess, because actually the beauty of doing this is just nice. The beauty of doing this is essentially with how well it does against Dragon, that's the only thing I need to do. Because Dragon is the best right stamina core, I would say. The most consistent. Fair enough. Let's try like 2 more. So I would probably maybe say, oh, it's 50-50. I want to say like maybe like 55-45 is what I'm feeling, unless it wins. If it wins these two, then maybe I'll switch up my percentage to just back to 50-50. I don't think it's better than Dragon Core. I just think it's if it loses, then it's definitely not. Because it wins, but then it doesn't, and then it wins, and then So this seems like kind of even to me. They're kind of just that close to each other, I would say. So yeah, very impressive. Knight is a solid core, Wind is a solid blade, or the other part so I can show it at the end. Yeah, it's gonna be very awkward because I think I should probably edit this in the order of the stuff. So if I do, then this will be very awkward at the end. If I don't, then be appropriate. Wind is definitely, though, I would say Wind and Knight are definitely a must-have if you're in competitive. Yeah, with the bearing tilt, honestly, with the bearing tilt, even though this kind of does go to Dragon, I still want to say the Knight's probably still kind of usable. I would just say, I still think maybe Dragon's the best, but I think Knight's kind of like, you know, like, right there. It's like this. It's like a little bit, maybe more towards Dragon, but either way. So as far as parts are concerned, let's say you're in competitive, okay, well, what's really worth? Core is solid enough. Stamina, I think, is solid. Against, let's say, defense against attack, it seems to do all right. Like, the gimmick kind of works, so you could kind of get that use. The blade, very solid. Same in opposite spin, it works, of course. Maybe potentially sometimes you could lose to a Vanish or maybe to a Dynamite F. Depends on combo, launch, and a bunch of other factors. Moon, Moon I'm not really for. I guess maybe... I don't even know where I want to put this. I feel like maybe... I think Moon's just like, okay. Like maybe you can kind of get it to maybe attack. I think attack is most fair is what I would say. Stamina, I don't see. I don't. Maybe there's a specific setup where Moon works super well, but as of right now, I don't see. Bounce is garbage. Don't use bounce. Never. Don't use bounce in standard. If there's in legacy formats where bounce is good, fair play, but for this, no. Either way, that's where we're ending off. Is Night worth getting? Yes. Is Wind worth? Yes. Is Moon? Maybe. Bounce? No. So if you were contemplating whether or not you should get it or should not get it, again, for competitive players that are watching this video, hope I was able to at least give enough data to reference something. So I want to say thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Bye.